Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Yeshua Allah in the world, which means Israel. We coming out on Shabbat again today to bring more of the laws, to teach, to give understanding about the laws, statute of commandments, what you can keep, and the things that you could only keep because due to certain, if you want to call it disabilities that we don't have, according to Israelites, that we don't have certain lands and the ark and the tabernacle, the priesthood, a lot of different things. So when people do watch this, just don't think like, oh, well, they're still trying to keep, they're trying to do everything and put away Christ and stuff. That's not the case. It's not what we're trying to do. We're given exactly what Christ was teaching, and for us to uphold as Israelites according to what the word says, not according to anybody's opinion or emotions and things or religion. This isn't religion. There's no such thing as Christianity in the Bible, period. In the Torah, there's no such thing as Judaism, none of that. None of them isms and schisms out there. Most High, the prophets, Christ never gave us religions or isms and schisms out there. He gave us only law, statute, and commandments. So that's all we follow by, because this is our culture. And then other nations can follow and do the same thing as well, according to the Most High and our culture and things. So, full-heartedly, you have to be able to be wanting to do this. So, anywho, like I said, we're teaching the word according to what the book says, and not to any philosophies that's been put out there or been taught and things like that, and to individuals who like to take from the book and then use it to their advantage because they have some influence on some people to twist it so they can get praises and then put away and put aside the Most High, Christ, and the Holy Spirit and stuff, and then start some new little movement or something like that to say that they're the originators and things like that, and not letting people know they took it from the originals, So that's why we're coming out the book and putting down to all these different, like we said, philosophies and other ways of thinking and stuff when it comes to the Most High, because it's clear cut. Okay, those that have ears to hear and eyes to see. Okay, but anywho, let's start here in Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 1. And before we start now, some say, well, you're skipping certain things. I'm skipping because the laws that you see, or if you're reading it for yourself, the laws they're repeats. So I'm skipping the repeats and going to the ones that's, the next laws. Okay, so all of the books, that's how you get 613 law, statute, commandment. It's not 613. Those are repeats that you're counting in the scriptures, okay? You don't count the repeats, all right? So that's what I'm doing. So anybody that's seeing this now or just tuned in or whatever, we're going into, we're skipping the repeats. So everything was written you have stuff written in Genesis before we got into by Mount Sinai and things like that. But all the stuff that came through Moses off of Mount Sinai was the commandments and all the laws, the statutes, meaning the order and things. So Exodus chapter 20 all the way to the end of Deuteronomy. So that's what we're doing right here. So anywho, let's begin there. Let's start at this right here. This is for the priesthood. This is for the Levites, the priesthood. I don't want to say the Levites because some people just say, well, that's just for that tribe and things. No, these laws, they're the same laws basically, but these are very pertain to the priesthood. So Aaron's sons and their generation, so forth and so on. So those that are to keep these are that we're doing these, you're supposed to keep them. So that's why we need to teach these also, so to understand that you have the priesthood still out there in the world today who don't know who they are. So that's why when Christ comes back, he says he's going to make us a nation of priests. So everything's going to be set back in order as it was back in the day, coming out of Egypt and into our own land and everything. So that's what we're going through today. So this is the priesthood. So let's go ahead and start. Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 1 through 5 is the first law for the priesthood.
And the Most High said unto Moses, Speak unto the priest the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, There shall none be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his kin that is near unto him, that is for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother.
So stop right there. So right here, it's letting you know that they cannot defile themselves with any dead people. Okay? The only people that the priesthood can defile themselves is with their mother, their father, the son, his daughter, and their brother. Okay? Those who they could defile themselves with. But anybody else they cannot defile to become unclean with any other person that died. Okay? Go ahead.
And for his sister, a virgin that is nigh unto him, which hath had no husband, for her may he be defiled.
Okay, so right here, it's letting you know, if your sister, out of the priesthood, if she has no husband, like I said, if she's a virgin, then you could, bury her and stuff. You could touch the body while doing the burial and stuff. But it's going to tell you, but if not, then you can't defile yourself. So, and by the way, I'm Brother Ezekiel. This is Brother
Josaphat.
There you go. So, just giving this understanding. So, I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself at the beginning. But keep reading verse 4.
But he shall not defile himself, being a chief man amongst his people, to profane himself. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they have shaved off the corners of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
Okay, so stop right there. So right now, everybody thinks, well, this is a repeat. No, but this is specifically for the Levites, okay? No cutting of flesh. Doesn't say no piercings, none of that stuff. They cannot do any of that stuff, okay? The priesthood. All right, now there's many other Israelites and Levites who have earrings, poked holes, and things like that and stuff. That's fine, but also, as they say, cutting of flesh, meaning you're really marking yourself and things like that, tattoos, so forth and so on. But this, like I said again, this is specifically for the priesthood. It said, they shall not make baldness upon their head, so they cannot shave their head bald, period. Okay? Now some say, well, I thought all Israel ain't supposed to do that. We're right. We're not supposed to make any baldness. But for instance, if you're unclean or you have an issue or leprosy and things like that, or some type of disease, or whatever the case may be, it tells you you're supposed to cut your whole beard, even your eyebrows, your whole head. You're supposed to shave it all bald and stuff. So it cures the uncleanliness. But it says they shave. Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beards, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. So basically, you have some Israelites who could trim, but you cannot cut the original lining, okay? Now, they can't do none of that stuff, period. Now, you have like for instance, in I think it's Psalms 133, it tells you how long Aaron's beard was. Aaron's beard went all the way down to his feet, okay? They can't cut or even groom it if they wanted to. So they can't do that. But as in the other law where it says Israel can't cut none of the natural lining or maul around the lips and stuff. You could groom it, but leave the priesthood, they can't do that. Okay? So in essence, a lot of us don't know exactly which tribe we really come from. So the thing is, we go by the characteristics, but in essence, none of us men should be cutting our beard, period, because you don't know if you're the priesthood. Okay, so the sons of Aaron. So kind of got to be careful of that. But anyways, let's get the next law, verse 7 and 9. Give them chapter and verse and book.
Chapter 21, verse 7.
Yep.
They shall not take a wife that is a whore or a profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is a holy unto the Most High.
So right there, so this is the next law for the priesthood. So they cannot, the priesthood cannot bring in or take a woman that was already married and things like that, or like it says, a whore and things, a harlot. They cannot do that. The priesthood can't do that because you have in some instances with all the other the other tribes, where they did take in harlots and things like that and made them become wives and things like that. So, or they were already married, or divorced from another man and things like that. So they could do that, but the priesthood they couldn't do that. Okay, but go ahead.
Thou shalt not sanctify him, therefore, for he offereth the bread of thy Most High. He shall be holy unto thee, for I, the Most High, which sanctify you, am holy.
Okay, so let's get so the next law right here, verse 9.
And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father, she shall be burnt with fire.
See that? So specifically, that tribe, the generations of Aaron, the priesthood and stuff, any of their daughters that do that, they're supposed to be burnt with fire. Now, we already know, cats, will be like, people watching this are Christian. Look, they're teaching about killing people and things like that. It's like, no, that's not the case. We know we don't do that because that's up to the Most High and His Son Christ when that time comes and things. But we have to put this out here. So, once again, we don't know who's who and what's what amongst really the tribe. We're just going by the characteristics. But we do know we're Israel. We know we're the flesh and blood of the real Hebrew Israelites. So don't mistake that. But it's good for all of us to know these things because you have to know because you may be one of them. Okay? That's why I said before, you don't know, you're getting chastised for certain things and you're trying to figure out, Most High God, why is this happening to me? Or why is this or why is that? You don't even know because you're breaking His laws. Okay? But let's continue reading. Let's get the next priesthood law. These are all priesthood laws until I come back to just for the whole nation after I'm done with the priesthood laws. Okay? What did I say? Verse
10.
Yeah, verse 10 is the next law.
And he that is the high priest amongst his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured.
Now hold on. The high priest, that means who's taking the position of Aaron. Okay? So whatever next high priest gets anointed with the oil that's chosen by the Most High, he's the next high priest. Okay, go ahead.
And that is concentrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes.
So right there. So for coverings, okay, the high priest, okay, never uncover his head, okay? Especially he's doing the work and everything. That man can have his head covered, okay? So when there's brothers out there who, do have their head covered and things like that, I don't say nothing against them. I don't know, maybe because some professed and said they had a dream that the Most High showed them that they were the priesthood or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to knock that. Who am I to sit there and say, no, you can't do that? But then some say, well, in Paul's writing, it does say that. But Paul doesn't contradict what's written in the Torah. Okay? Neither would Christ contradict that was already written in the Torah by the will of His Father, our Father. Okay? So with that being said, that's why Christ didn't have His head covered. Okay? It's only specifically for the holy high priest as it says it. Now mind you, some say, well, Christ is the high priest, but Christ comes from Judah. He doesn't come from Levite, okay? He comes from Judah, not the priesthood, okay? There's certain things. He did priestly things, but he didn't do all the priestly things because then he'd be going against what's written in Torah, and that's what's against the Most High. So he's not going to contradict. Like he said, I'm not here to do the will of myself. I came to do the will of the one that sent me. So with that being said, this is why we're letting everybody know why we have to go through these things. So to brothers that do that, well, if you're calling yourself a priest, even though I don't mess with the titles, the names and things like that. I only deal with, I'm just brother. I don't know what I could be amongst the 12 tribes. Okay. So I don't even try to do certain things. So, maybe I'm telling brothers also you shouldn't do certain things as well because you might be going against the will of the Father. So be careful of what you're doing, okay? But anyways, let's get the next law.
11.
Verse 11. For the priesthood.
Neither shall he go into any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or for his mother.
So this is for the high priest. It says, neither shall he go, or excuse me, neither shall he go into any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or for his mother. See that? So now he's like, well, wait a second. I thought it was just said in the beginning that you can defile yourself with your mother and your brother, your sister, and your brother and things like that. That's for the priesthood. That's the sons. This is for the priest, the high priest. Those are the low priests. This is the high priest. Okay, so you got to pay attention to what it's saying. Verse 12.
Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of the Most High. For the crown of the anointing oil of the Most High is upon him. I am the Most High.
So I mean, you can read it the way it says, but that's letting you know he can't even leave the sanctuary. So it's like he's eating, sleeping, everything is in the sanctuary there. So that's what he's supposed to do. That's his duty. Okay, as amongst the priesthood as well, the sons. Excuse me. Let's get the next law.
13.
Yeah.
All right. And he shall take a wife in her virginity.
So this is the next law for that priest, that high priest. He cannot take any woman that he wants. It has to be a virgin. Okay? Keep reading the next law.
A widow or a divorced woman or profane or a harlot, these shall he not take. But he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife.
So only amongst Levite, the tribe of Levite, a virgin can that high priest have a wife. And it cannot be anybody who's divorced or widow, so forth and so on. Okay? That's the high priest. Alright? Let's get the next law, which is verse 14. Or excuse me, I'm
15.
sorry. Yes, it's Lakia.
Neither shall he profane his seed amongst his people, for I the Lord do sanctify him.
So that's the one law, same thing in the same law that we just read about a widow and things like that, who he could take. So let's do the next law is verse 17 through 25. This is one whole law. Now, this isn't the priesthood anymore. Okay, so this is not the law of the priesthood anymore. Okay, so let's get it, verse 17, and read through 24. I'm sorry.
Okay. Speak unto Aaron, saying, whosoever he be of thy seed in their...
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a second. Hold on. Yeah, this is 22. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tripping. All right. Start that again. It's verse 17.
Chapter 21.
No, 20. Wait, one moment, y'all. Wait a second. I marked something. I see what I did. I accidentally marked these all as 22 verse. Okay.
So
all right. I'm sorry. So yeah, this is
21.
Yeah, we're still in 21, chapter 21, verse 17 through 25. This is the next law. Sorry. All right.
So speak unto Aaron, saying, whosoever he be of thy seed in their generation that have any blemish, let him not approach the bread of his God.
So basically, he's talking about the showbread. Okay, you cannot. Let me just read that again. Speak unto Aaron, saying, whosoever he be of thy seed in their generation that has any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his God. So any seeds of Aaron, the generation, the priesthood, they can't bring any offerings if they got a blemish or something unclean in them. Okay, so they have to get that taken care of, and then they can come in and bring something on to the Most High or offering. Okay, keep reading.
For whatsoever man he be that hath a blemish, he shall not approach a blind man, or a lame, or he that hath a flat nose, or anything superfluous.
That's okay. Keep reading.
Or broken handed,
Or a man that is broken-footed or broken-handed,
or crook back, or a dwarf, or that hath a blemish in his eye, or be scurvy or scab, or hath his stones broken. No man that hath a blemish of the seed of Aaron, the priest shall come nigh to offer the offerings of the Lord made by fire. He hath a blemish, he shall not come nigh to offer the bread of his God. He shall eat the bread of his God, both of the most holy and of the holy. Only he shall not go into the veil, nor come nigh unto the altar, because he has a blemish, that he profane not my sanctuaries, for I the Lord do sanctify him. And Moses told it unto Aaron and to his sons and unto all the children of Israel.
So it's basically saying, so even with the priesthood, okay, so now it's switched down to the, at first I said it's the priesthood. It still is a priesthood, but it goes back into Israel again. So as it says in the original script, back in the old laws with the nation of Israel, you cannot bring, if you're blemished or any of those defects, disabilities in you, you cannot come into the temple to give offerings and things like that, okay, until whatever the case may be, until it's cleaned up or whatever the issue is. But with the sons of Aaron, the priesthood, they can't do none of that unless, they don't have, they have to be perfect while coming out. No blemishes, no disabilities, okay? So let's get the next law now. So
we're in chapter 22 now.
Yeah. Wait a second here. 24. Go to verse 17.
Chapter 22.
Wait a second. I'm sorry, y'all. Just one moment.
You just read the laws.
No, I know what I did wrong. I know what I messed up at. Okay. All right, start at all right, so we did this. So these are the priesthood laws. I'm sorry, y'all. Chapters 21, 1 through 5, 7 through 8, verse 9, verse 10, verse 11, verse 12, verse 13, verse 14, verse 15, verses 16 through 24 were the priest laws and the high priest law, okay? So now we'll go into chapter 22, verse 1 through 9, which is still another priesthood law. So excuse me for that. Okay, I was mixed up. I was, I'm looking at my writing and stuff, so I messed up. But anyways, we're on point though. So now chapter 22, 1 through 9, which is a whole law in itself, okay, for the priesthood still. So go ahead.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name in those things which they hallow unto me. I am the Lord. Say unto them, whosoever he be of all your seed amongst your generations, that goeth unto the holy things, which is the children of Israel. Hallow unto the Lord, having his uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord.
So it's letting you know, any uncleanliness that come onto the Most High, you do that on purpose, knowingly and stuff, you'll be cut off. Okay? But keep reading.
What man soever of the seed of Aaron is a leper, or hath a running issue, he shall not eat of the holy things until he be clean. And whosoever toucheth anything that is unclean by the dead, or a man whose seed goeth from him, or whosoever touches any creeping thing, whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanliness, whatsoever uncleanness he has. The soul which hath touched any such shall be unclean until even, and shall not eat of the holy things, unless he wash his flesh with water.
So all these uncleanly things that they do and stuff, the priesthood, if they go into the sanctuary unclean and stuff, they're going to be cut off. Okay? So it's letting you know everything they have to do. They have to wash themselves until they're until evening, until they're clean again. Then they may come in and do what they need to do. Okay, but keep reading.
And when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food. That which dieth of itself, or is torn with beasts, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. I am the Lord. They shall therefore keep mine ordinance, lest they bear sin for it, and die therefore. If they profane it, I the Lord do sanctify them.
Now it tells you even in for the laws of Israel as well. You know, like if you find animals that's torn, that's clean animals that's torn by another beast, and you use to eat it and stuff, you'll become unclean. So in order you should become clean again, you have to wash yourself and then wait until the evening time, and then you'll be clean again. This one is telling you for the priesthood, if any of them do those things and they go into the sanctuary, they're dead. Okay? Basically, they're cut off and stuff. So do not do that. That sanctuary is very holy and stuff. Okay? Let's get the next priesthood law, which is verse 10.
There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing.
Sojourner.
A sojourner of the priest, or a hired servant, shall not eat of the holy thing.
So all the holy things that the priesthood, Aaron, the high priest, and the sons, they're the only ones that can eat those things. But a stranger, meaning a Gentile, in this sense, in H1616, I believe, which is the Hebrew, it's letting you know they cannot eat those things, period. Or a servant, as a hired servant, which is what? Another Israelite who cannot eat those things, period. Okay? Let's get the next law, verse 11.
But if the priest buy any soul with his money, he shall eat of it. And he that is born in his house, they shall eat of this meat.
So it's letting you know, any soul that the priest buy, so it could be, a servant at that time, if they're willing to do it and stuff, but he bought it. He bought that servant, okay, for hire. Then they can have that. But if it's just a hired servant that's out there and things like that, or somebody else that's not in his household, they can't eat it, okay? So like it says again, there shall no, but if the priest buy any soul with his money, he shall eat of it, and he that is born in his house, they shall eat of his meat. Okay? So it's letting you know. So it can't just be any hired servant. Okay? It has to be somebody that the priesthood bought themselves. Not some, like, let's say I'm his servant. He bought me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm working for him. I can't go into a priesthood's house and start eating their food and stuff. You can't do that. But if he's a priesthood and he bought me with his money, and now I'm his servant underneath his roof, I can eat underneath his roof. But if he's a Ephraim and I'm a Judite, and he hired me, and we both go to the Levite's house, neither one of us can eat his food. Okay, so you can't do that. It's a holy thing. But let's get the next law, verse 12.
If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger.
Now stop right there. Now it says, now somebody will sit there. Now I've heard these doctrines already, and people will sit here and say, well, that priest's daughter is talking about, or who she marries is a stranger. Now wait a second. Is this speaking of a Gentile, or is this speaking of another tribe from another land? Because remember, the Levites didn't have no inheritance to the lands and stuff. Okay, so with that being said, if she married a Levite, the priesthood's daughter, if she marries a Judite, okay, that's a stranger in that context. It's H21 something, I forgot, but it's in the Hebrew. You have two definitions. One is for Gentiles, which is the H1616, and the other is for your own people of a different tribe in the nation of Israel. That's the other stranger, okay? So, of course, this is not the daughters marrying the daughters of Zion marrying the other nations out there, okay? So go ahead, reread that again.
If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger, she may not eat of any offering of the holy things.
But so if she marries a Judite or Benjamite or Ephraimite or Issacharite, whatever, she cannot eat of her father's home anymore. Okay, but go ahead. Verse 13.
But if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced and have no child, and is returned unto her her father's house, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat, but there shall no stranger eat thereof.
See that? So now she can come back and eat. If she doesn't have any children, and she's divorced or a widow, then she can come back and she can eat the things underneath her father's house, like it says back in her youth before she was given out to marriage. Okay? So,
14.
Now, yeah, verse 14, the next law. Now, this is not the priesthood laws no more, okay? Now, this is the regular laws for Israel. So, verse 14 through 16.
And if a man eat of the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part thereof unto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing.
So, basically saying, if a man didn't know any better, of Israel, he didn't know and things like that, because accidents do happen, okay? The Most High is not just going to put you to death because of, a certain, like he doesn't have mercy on you because you didn't know any better, okay? So you have to give a fifth part of whatever it is onto the Levite for, I guess, a trespass in a sense, okay? So it's like, like it says, if a man eat of the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part thereof onto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing. Keep reading.
And they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, which they offer unto the Lord, or suffer them to bear the iniquity of trespass. Then they eat their holy things, for I the Lord do sanctify them.
See that? So that's a trespass. So there's offerings that you have to give to the Levites or to the priesthood to forgive you for the trespass. Okay, so you won't get put to death for that. But if you don't do these things, you will live in your iniquity, and then when that time does come, you will get put to death. Okay, so you have to remake up for your trespass, and you go through the sacrifice of what you did to give the trespass offering, and then you give an extra fifth part of whatever it was to the Levites, okay? To the priesthood, excuse me. Let's get the next law, 17 through 25. That's one whole law. Go ahead.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron, and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, Whatsoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his oblation for all of his vows, and for all of his free will offerings, which they will offer unto the Lord, for a burnt offering.
So right here, so it's letting you know. So the strangers, it's the Gentiles. So we're in Leviticus 22 and verse 17 through 25, which is the next law, which is one whole law. Okay, so you gotta give a book and chapter and verse out.
All right.
When we start a new law. Okay. But go ahead, keep reading.
Well, chapter 22, verse 19. Ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish of the beeves, of the sheep, or of the goats.
So the word beeves is talking about the cattle and things like that. It's just another word for the oxen. But go ahead.
Verse 20. But whatsoever hath a blemish, that shall ye not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you.
So letting you know, even if the Gentiles bring a sacrifice onto the Most High, okay, it cannot be with any blemishes. Okay, so once again, same thing for Israel, same thing for the Gentiles, the strangers. All right, so they have to do the same ordinance, one law for all people and things, especially for Israel. And if the nations do follow and they want to serve God, Christ, and the Holy Spirit, then you have to go through these ordinances. If you don't want to do that, then you're not part of this. You're not getting grafted into the natural branches and things like that. So, not what I say, but what the book says. But continue.
Verse 21, and whosoever offereth a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord to accomplish his vow or free will, offering beeves or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. Mm-hmm. Verse 22, blind or broken or maimed or having a wen or scurvy or scabbed, ye shall not offer these unto the Lord, nor make any offering by fire of them upon the altar unto the Lord. Verse 23, either a bullock or a lamb that had anything superfluous or lacking in his parts, that mayest thou offer for a free will offering, but for a vow, if shall not be accepted. Verse 24, ye shall not offer unto the Lord that which is bruised, or crushed, or broken, or cut. Neither shall you make any offerings thereof in your land. Verse 25, neither from a stranger's hand shall ye offer the bread of your God of any of these, because their corruption is in them, and blemishes be in them. They shall not be accepted for you.
So it's letting you know, even for the Gentiles and Israel, any offerings, it cannot have no disabilities. It cannot have no defects, none of that stuff when you bring these offerings for any of your sacrifices for trespass and things like that. Just like when Hamashiach Yeshua was put on the cross, they didn't break none of his bones. He didn't have no defects, none of that stuff. That's why we call him the perfect sacrifice, okay? To atone for Israel. Not die for Israel's sins, but to atone for it. To make us the make way between us and the Father, so we have grace and a time to come back to learn these things, so we can fulfill all the trespasses and all the iniquities and all our sins that we've done against his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? So that's the grace. That's the time clock that's going around and stuff where you have this time to get right. Okay? Including the Gentiles too. They, like I said, they do by the law of the scriptures, then they may do it also. But if not, then no. Okay? As far and as well as Israel too, because some will say on here, oh man, being an Israelite doesn't make you doesn't give you a golden ticket into the kingdom. Well, no, of course it doesn't, because 2/3 of Israel first, when Christ comes back, is going to be put to death. Those that don't have the Father's name written in them. Okay, and then the Gentiles are going to get their judgment after we. So that's why Christ said, first go to the Jews first, then the Gentiles. Okay, so let's get the next law. Leviticus 22, verse 26 through 28.
Verse 26, and the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, when a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, and from the 8th day and thenceforth it shall be accepted for the offering made by fire unto the Lord.
So right here, any sacrifice that you do or bring forth for offering, it has to be underneath a dam for 7 days, a jubilee, which is a completion. Okay? Excuse me. Underneath the dam, it has to do with like the water and things and stuff like that. It's another ways of cleansing and things like that. So any offering that you put up, this is what you must do, including the Passover. That lamb has to be underneath the dam for 7 days to be accepted on the 8th day for an offering unto the Most High. Okay, so it's all about being cleaning, because in the land that Canaan that we came to, it was defiled, it was unclean. Okay, and the ways that they were doing this stuff was unclean as well. But continue reading.
Verse 28, and whether it be a cow or ewe shall not kill it, and her youth both in 1 day.
So a ewe lamb, basically a lamb, a female lamb, you cannot kill those and her youngin in 1 day. You can't do that because people think back in the day they were probably doing this. They were making up all the sins that they did. They'll bring in all the offerings all in 1 day to cover for all their sins and things that they did. Can't do that. Okay? So it has to be one at a time after the certain time that you bring the offering. The next law, verse 29 through 23.
Verse 29, and when ye will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord, offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. Ye shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am the Lord.
So right there, so the Thanksgiving offer that you give up and stuff, you got to eat it. Eat all of it. Whatever you don't eat, you consume it in fire and stuff, okay? Because it's holy. All right, so you burn it up and things like that. So that's according to that offering. But it's still, this is one law that we're reading here through, what did I say, 26?
29.
Or excuse me, 29 through 33. Keep reading.
Verse 31, therefore shall ye keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. Neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed amongst the children of Israel. I am the Lord which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord.
So profaning the Most High's name, taking his name in vain, that goes back into the commandments and things. So it's letting you know again, you do not make his name meaningless, without worth, without value and stuff. So you're putting his name on here. You're saying you're following the Haya, or some say Yahuwah or Yahweh, the Most High things of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you profane his name or you do anything against him and claim his name and stuff, then you're profaning it, making his name with any worth. So that's why other nations and religions and isms and schisms out here be like, they're watching what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing this and you say, yeah, I'm claiming this and I'm doing this all in the Most High's name and stuff, and you're doing vice versa what it says in the book, and these other people are reading it, they're going to look at you as a hypocrite, and also they're going to be like, your God ain't nothing. Okay? So that's why he's saying don't profane his name. All right, let's get the next law, which is all the holy feast days. It's all of chapter 23, Leviticus 23. Let's go ahead and read that.
All right, chapter 23.
And we'll just start at verse 1. We're going to read right through every one of them. Okay, so go ahead.
Chapter 23, and the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, In holy convocation ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month, at even is the Lord's Passover.
So on the 14th day of the first month, the new month, not moon. It doesn't say moon. It's month.
The second week.
It's new month. You count 14 days. And how do you do this? Now, this is another thing. I'll touch on this a little bit later. I'll, maybe do a lesson on it. But the whole thing is, everybody's saying about the Sabbath. The Sabbath. You go by the moon, or you're going by this. First and foremost, the moon is not meant for the Sabbath. Okay? It's not meant by that. It's telling you right here, the new month, you count 14 days. So how do you know when the new month is? It's telling you when you're in Israel, if you're in Jerusalem and stuff, you see stuff start sprouting up. Okay, this is the springtime. You see plants start sprouting. That's the beginning of the new month. Then you count 14 days afterwards. So it may land on a Saturday. It may be a Sunday. It may be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Might be that day as the Shabbat. You count 7 days after that. That's the Sabbath. And then another 7 days is a Sabbath, but that's the Passover. Then you count 7 days, which is Feast of Unleavened Bread afterwards. So that's why Christ said, let no man judge you of how you keep the Sabbath and stuff, because a lot of us, we're not over in Jerusalem watching plants start sprouting up at a certain time in the spring. Okay, so you don't go by the moon, you're going by what's sprouted there in the land of Jerusalem, in Israel. Okay, so that's why a lot of this debate is going on about who's who and what day is the Sabbath. We're supposed to follow the moons and stuff. It never told you to follow the moon. Okay? So it's letting you know right here, even when you read in the Hebrew, get that thorough understanding of what it says. Okay? But let's continue reading.
Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
Unleavened bread. So after the Passover, right afterwards, when that sun sets on your Shabbat, is the next day, not 12 o'clock midnight. When the sun sets, it's another day. It's a brand new day, which is Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay? So you count 7 days after that. You eat unleavened bread for 7 days. Okay? But keep reading.
Verse 7. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. And verse 9. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priests, and he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it.
So this is speaking of Feast of First Fruits, okay? You give your best of your harvest. Okay, that's why it tells you the first 3 years, that's why you don't touch your crops. First 3 years, it's uncircumcised. Then the 4th year, you give that up to the Most High. That's the Feast of First Fruits. Okay, and then the 5th year, you can eat it. So for 4 years, you cannot even pick nor touch your crops until the 5th year. The 5th year, you can eat it, you can sell it for 2 years. So the 5th year and the 6th year, you can sell it. The 7th year, you allow it to rest. That means anybody could take from it, like the poor, the fatherless, the widow, the stranger, which is the Gentile or whatever. And you can't sell it though, okay? So you just let it do what it does and things. So that's the process of doing that. But go ahead.
Verse 12, And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf and the lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord, for a sweet savor. And the drink of offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of a hin or hin.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor green ears until the self same day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day of that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord, with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savour unto the Lord. Then ye shall sacrifice one kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord. With 2 lambs they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be in an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
Throughout your generations. Keep reading.
22. Verse 22. And when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them into the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord.
So right there, it's telling you not to take all your crops and says. That's what it's talking about in the Jubilee, in the year of rest. You're supposed to leave it so the poor and the stranger may come to it and take from there and things like that. So that's letting you know when you have your crops and things, okay? But continue reading.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, memorial of blowing of trumpets and holy convocation.
So these are all feast days that we're all going. This whole chapter is letting you know all the feast days of what we're supposed to do and keeping them. Not these wicked folly days and things like that. No Christmas, no Thanksgiving, no Halloween, no 4th of July, no Valentine's Day, no Sweeties Day, no
Easter,
Mother's Day, no Father's Day, no birthdays, no Easter. None of those things. You're supposed to follow with these feast days according to the Most High, because Christ did the same thing. Okay, so continue.
Verse 27.
No,
28. Verse 28.
No, wait, hold on. No, 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing of the trumpets, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. All right, verse 26.
26. Okay, verse 26. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work on that same day, for it is the day of atonement. I'm sorry, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted into the same day, he shall be cut off from amongst his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from amongst his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, in all your dwellings.
So keep reading. I'm sorry.
Verse 32. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month, at even from the even unto even shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
So evening unto evening. That's let you know. New day onto the next day, which is evening. That starts a brand new day. Which tells you that in Genesis chapter 1. Okay. So this is letting you know right here. These are Sabbaths. Okay. So sometimes a lot of this stuff doesn't fall on the 7th day. Okay. So that's what we're trying to explain here. So I'll go into, there's many lessons out there amongst other brethren who break down the feast days and things like that, which is good, and they're on point with it and things. But we're just going through the laws like for the feast days and everything. So bear with us for a second. Verse 33. Go ahead.
And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord.
So like I said, I'll do a breakdown of each feast day too, just for this channel and things like that later. Like I said, we'll go into meat lessons and things like that. So just later we'll get into that. But for right now, we're just going straight through these. Okay, I expound a little bit on all these. But go ahead.
Verse 35. And on the first day shall be a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye shall offer offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Beside the Sabbaths of the Lord, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your freewill offerings, which ye give unto the Lord. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of the palm trees, and the boughs of the thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in the booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in the booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in the booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Lord.
So that's it for the feast days, and that's why we're showing and prove like all these things. These are laws as well, so you have to keep them. Holy convocations amongst Israel. We have to keep these no matter what. We have to teach these no matter what. That's the reason why. Some say, well, how can you keep these if you don't have the priesthood set up, the tabernacle, the ark, the altars, and so forth and so on? You're right, but still, we're showing by not just good works, by still trying to show that we are trying to keep it, even though we're not so-called in our land. We still try to keep it, and to the best of our ability, to show and prove to the heavenly Abba that we are trying to return back onto Him. So we are being marked, showing and prove that we are really striving to be an obedient child of the Most High and a servant of Hamashiach Yeshaya, or some say Yahushai, or Yeshua, or Yehoshua, or Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're getting into today. Our hour is up, so we have to, close it out here. But we will pick back up in Leviticus chapter 24 and verse 1 through 3. Okay, so we're just giving understanding. Like I said, we're going through these. I'm only expounding on certain stuff, just until I start doing the so-called meat lessons and stuff. So then I'll bring it all around, because some people are like, well, you didn't explain what that was and things like that. I explain all this later on, and a whole breakdown of each and every one of these is soon as I get done with these lessons on the laws and things. So first and foremost, this is what we need, the milk first, okay? So anyway, I'm Brother Ezekiel.
I'm Brother Josaphat.
And we'll build with you guys later. We hope you all having a blessed Shabbat and a blessed rest. Those that are working on the Shabbat and things, we keep you in prayer that your managers or bosses may change up your work schedule so you don't have to work on the Shabbat anymore while we're in this defiled land and things like that, and amongst our captives, our oppressors. So I hope you're getting it in, and brothers still teaching out there. Keep doing it. Keep up the good work, and deal as much as you can in meekness and kindness, and wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove, so we can bring back our people, and then also Gentiles that do want to serve and things like that. We can help them as well. Okay, so anyways, we give all praise and blessing and glory to the Most High. Ahaya Bahashem Hamashiach Yeshaya, Wakadash for Wak, Barakatah, Tawada Aman, and we'll speak with y'all later. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yasha Allah in the world.